Mary Amina Smith here with you. A ton to get to this hour, including an interview with basketball legend Candace Parker and a check-in on Caleb Williams at Bears mandatory minicamp, which is underway today.
So football's 24/7, 365. The NFL never goes away. That includes Dak Prescott. What does he do at a Cowboys OTAs to get everyone's attention? But we begin elsewhere in the great state of Texas. The Texans are working out in their offseason program while their franchise quarterback C.J. Stroud continues to be a spectator. Stroud is dealing with shoulder soreness. He's done some minor work but hasn't thrown. New on SportsCenter, Texans head coach DeMeco Ryan was ready for the questions about his quarterback.
First off, I know everybody's going to ask, first, is CJ not throwing again? There's no concerns with CJ. It's just general soreness. We're taking extra precaution with him, but he'll be good to go. No concerns on my end there. We're not going to rush him into anything. He'll be fine. When the moment is for him to be ready to go, he'll be ready to go.
All you need to hear, it's June. Training camp doesn't start till the end of July as we welcome in our NFL reporter, Jeff Darlington. So, Jeff, DeMeco Ryan's downplaying any concerns about Stroud? Right. What have you been hearing about the third-year quarterback?
Well, from what I understand, it is a matter of management, and this is a time of year when you can do that. The curious thing will be next week when they have the mandatory minicamp, whether Stroud will in fact be throwing at that point. Now, even then, if he weren't to throw, it's still okay. Really, until training camp would we be okay just dismissing it as nothing more than that type of management. I will say, though, that C.J. Stroud has had his share of shoulder issues in the past. The question, of course, is the severity of it. He's also dealing with a new offense. I will say, though, from speaking to people with the Texans, they view this as a discovery process right now with a new offensive coordinator, one with where mental reps are just as advantageous, perhaps, as being on the field and getting those physical ones. So really, no need for panic just yet with Stroud.
There it is. I was waiting for the mental reps cliche that they'll throw out there while the quarterback's sitting around and
exactly.
watching. It's coming. You know, it always does. That train's never late. Let's go from the AFC South to AFC East. Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins, and OTAs. There's questions about the future of Jalen Ramsey. They're all everything corner. New on SportsCenter. McDaniel spoke about Ramsey today.
I don't really check in on a day-to-day. Zero has changed from my end. So I, let Chris work, and I'm diligently coaching.
I could listen to him talk for 7 days a week. What are you hearing about teams, Jeff, that could be interested in Ramsey's services?
Well, I'm told that there is certainly a market for Jalen Ramsey at this point, and I know people constantly, as you see right there, are still asking questions of Mike whether this is going to happen. It is going to happen, from what I'm told. Like, there's really no ifs, ands, or buts here. They're going to unload Jalen Ramsey at some point in the future, but they don't feel the need to be that dramatic in terms of timing. Like, everybody was expecting June 1st hits, and all of a sudden Jalen Ramsey will get traded. It's not necessarily the case. They have some time to sit back, make sure they get a good deal. The Rams are a team I would still remain focused on. Sean McVay has made it publicly clear that he would be willing to add Ramsey back to the Rams roster. He still believes that that is a relationship that would work. To me, the Rams are still the team to watch.
Yeah, two things. One, he's going to be expensive, so they're going to have to get the financials worked out. And when you pointed out June 1st for the viewer, that means that's a line of demarcation where teams can save money post June 1st deadline if they want to make a move. We're not going to save any money with Jeff Darlington. We're going to have him back on the show to get our money's worth. Jeff, thank you.
All mental reps.
Place, the Dallas Cowboys. That's the past. OTA is underway, and there is big change in Big D this season, most notably the departure of head coach Mike McCarthy. Jerry stayed on staff, promoted first-time head coach Brian Schottenheimer. There's also the return of Dak Prescott from injury, the addition of George Pickens, the contract question with Micah Parsons. Other than that, we're all squared. New on SportsCenter, Schottenheimer spoke about the Cowboys' Super Bowl drought.
I don't get caught up in the drought. This is 1 year. I mean, this is the first year of mine. I mean, I've been here a couple years. But, you know, when the season's over, we move on. We do. You move on. So 2024 is over. Now it's 2025. Are we going to win the Super Bowl this year? I hope. I think we are. If we don't, you move on. You go to 2026 and beyond. But, like, to sit here and say that we worry about, you know, when the last time it was it 96? Is that when the last one was? You know, I mean, I know that stat, but I don't stay up at night going, man, it's been X amount of years. I'm not wired that way because I'm competing every day to try to win a Super Bowl. And so if I'm looking back and I'm worried about that, then guess what? I'm not focused on what really matters, which is making sure we throw an incredible practice today.
I'll tell you this about Brian Stroud. He wins the podium every time he's up there, says all the right things. Will that translate on the field? Jeff Darlington back with us. We know shoddy success goes as far as his franchise quarterback, Dak Prescott. To that end, what have you heard about Prescott this offseason?
Well, I've heard that he's actually moving around quite well. We obviously suffered the hamstring injury last year in Week 9 that required surgery. And really in April, he had said that if he had to play a game at that point, he could. Well, fast forward now a couple months, and he's out there at OTAs moving around quite well. When it comes to minicamp, we'll see how much exactly he can do. But I would expect to see him really in his entirety out there trying to get that connection with new receiver George Pickens, trying to understand this offense with Schottenheimer. So positive signs from the quarterback. And obviously we know when it comes to the Cowboys, they're only as good as their quarterback is and really only as good as healthy as he is, quite frankly.
And speaking of the mandatory minicamp, they did say today they expect Micah Parsons to be a participant in that mandatory minicamp. I mentioned him in the contract issues prior to speaking about Dak. And speaking of Dak, congratulations. He and his fiancee Sarah welcomed their second daughter Aurora to the world on May 22nd. Nice. Jeff, you are also a father of two, and we had a peak dad moment Sunday at the Memorial with Scotty Scheffler.
Two though?
What'd he say?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, what's that? Is that me?
Yeah, that's you. We caught you.
Oh, that's
because you've also had a peak dad moment while at work. Your daughter was home sick, and so you did the proper thing with take her, the stuffed animals, and so you're just like Scotty.
You know what, today, yeah, just like Scott, today we're running a pet picture company out of our house. It's $1 a picture. My daughter, I'm basically running operations. She's handling the picture taking, which is quite frankly not very good, but we spruce it up with ChatGPT and we get it back to you for $1. So that's what we have going on out of the Darlington house today.
Hey, you're doing what?
So it's a pet picture company. We're taking pictures of the neighbor's pets.
Oh.
Matt, that's what we do when it's summer.
Okay.
And we forgot to sign up our daughter for camp. Okay? We don't tell my wife.
There's the peak dad moment. He didn't send his daughter to camp. You know what? You get everything coming your way. You never forget camp.
Yeah. I will not forget next week.
I'm going to send you a picture of O'Shea. You can send it back. Darlington, great stuff. Thank you. The Bears are also beginning OTAs, much like the Dallas Cowboys. There is change at the top. Ben Johnson, former offensive coordinator of the Lions, taking over as head coach in hopes of igniting the potential of last year's top pick, Caleb Williams. Chaos in Chicago last season. Is stability on the way? Let's find out from Bears reporter Courtney Cronin joining us now. And Courtney, last week Caleb responded to the new revelations in an upcoming book indicating that before the 2024 NFL draft, his father explored ways for him not to get drafted by the Bears. How has he been working to move forward from that?
Yeah, Matt, after Caleb talked about the book and what's coming out in September, the day after the Bears play the Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football, he tried to put all of that to bed. He said that's last year. That's stuff that happened. He didn't deny anything, but he's moving forward and trying to get this ship in the right direction. And part of that has to do with the Ben Johnson effect. What Caleb Williams said are the little things that the team is doing this offseason to make him a better quarterback. Part of that starts with changing his footwork. He's always been a right foot up in the shotgun type of quarterback. The Bears have moved that around, so he now is starting with his left foot up before he drops back. And it's all the pre-snap stuff, the procedural things that he's trying to learn from Ben Johnson, the little details to help him become a more efficient passer. And that, of course, extends to the film room. Part of what was revealed in that book was that Caleb might not have had the best direction from the coaching staff last season when he was learning to watch film. He said that Ben Johnson is super detailed in what he's expecting Caleb to watch for when he's watching film and help him find those shortcuts out so he can become a more efficient quarterback in the process.
And Courtney, to that end, I mean, you cover this team for a living. Have you noticed a difference between this year and last year with the new regime in there surrounded by Caleb?
It's definitely more intense out there at practice. I'll say that. Ben Johnson, not shy of letting his players know when they have messed something up in a drill, but going through and correcting it on the spot, not on the fly, and as much as it was last year. But I think part of it too is what he's working with Caleb specifically regarding the quarterback's body language. It's something that Ben Johnson said the two sat down and focused in on specifically in the off-season months and found several examples where maybe the body language wasn't exactly what they wanted it to be. They went through specific plays. They came to an agreement that that's not how they want to represent themselves in between snaps. And for Johnson, he said that the Bears do not want to be a palms-up team where it looks like they're questioning things. That's a sign of weakness, the Bears coach said. And it's not just the quarterback. It's something that he wants the other members of this team to follow suit with, because when they all move in the right direction, when they're all representing themselves similarly in terms of how they look from a body language perspective, that's how they're able to move on past good moments and bad moments in games.